Hey there folks, it's Bobo the Vulture back again with more Let's Play Aerobiz Supersonic. I know you're excited. Don't try and hide it. I know, I want you. Anyhow, let's just make sure I'm actually... Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure everything was in play, folks, because this is a very big year. 1977. Look at that. Tupolev started selling the TU144. Oh boy. We gotta check that out, folks. We just gotta. And now we're gonna get a chance to. We're number 2 in Europe and number 2 in Southeast Asia, but number 1 in the Americas. And haven't really spread out to any of those somewhat less big money regions. We required some slots in Mexico City. That's cool. And some slots in Beijing. And some slots in Cairo. So I'm about to start expanding into, yep, we got some more 747s. I like all that stuff, folks. It's all good stuff. But before we do anything else, let's take a look. First of all, to refresh ourselves, let's look at Aerospatiale's Concorde. 4,000 mile range. Terrible economy, but, you know, economy of 10, and 120 seats. But 4,000, range of 4,000 miles, it's designed pretty much to be able to handle transatlantic flights, that sort of thing. Which is what it ended up doing for, you know, most of its run, from the late 70s to the early 2000s. Tupolev. Check it out, they got the TU134. There's the TU144. Lower range, actually more seats. And an economy of 4. I'm not making that up, folks. 4. The most advanced technologies were used to make this sleek Soviet supersonic success story. No, passenger plane. We're not going to buy it, folks, but you'll notice it looks a lot like the Concorde. It actually looks enough like the Concorde that there were some accusations that were bandied about of espionage. TU-144 came out, actually had its maiden flight before Concorde. Concorde was put into service... don't mind me, I'm going to go around and make sure, because it's been a little while since the last time I played, I want to make sure that I can't get any slots in any of my favorite hubs. But the 144 came out, or, you know, its maiden flight was a few months before that of Concorde, because Concorde pushed their maiden flight back, because they wanted to iron out a couple of problems. Tupolev didn't bother to do that. Long story short, I guess. Oh, okay. 3 months before we can get slots in Tokyo. But no, you know, I say it with sort of a chuckle, but it actually was kind of a serious problem. Because, yeah, I'm not going to send it over to a bid for slots. Because, you know, nothing against anybody from Russia, but the TU-144 was a severely flawed design. It didn't manage to make a whole lot of flights, basically. They made 16 of them. Which is 4 fewer than the made of Concorde, which, you know, isn't that big a deal one way or the other. But, let's see, Tokyo, let's put another plane on there, get another 2 flights going. Oh, right, we don't have any more slots in LA. I'm not thinking. Let's cancel. Let's not do any of that stuff. Hold on a moment, folks. Just minimize that so I can see more of what I'm doing. But yeah, the 144, they limited the number of flights that did with it, and they also limited the passenger loads in it because they were they were kind of in constant fear of the planes failing. They never actually had a passenger flight that crashed in the 55 run that they had of the TU144. However, on what was essentially its big debut in the Western world at Paris Air Show, the plane crashed. Flew into a couple of houses outside the airport, killing the flight crew and 8 people on the ground. It was... there are a couple of different theories about what caused the incident. Okay, we got a couple 727s we can use. I was concerned about that, actually. A couple of different theories about what might have caused the airplane to crash the way it did. They range from people theorizing that we don't have enough money for it to open up that route. Oh boy, don't tell me I gotta spend this quarter. Well, actually, let me take a look at this. Yeah, I never did take a look at that Bangkok route. It's not doing too bad. It could do better. We're still managing not to fill up our planes in the Hong Kong route there. That's a little upsetting. Let's see. Get a plane out to Santiago. Or Rio. We don't have the funds to open any routes. My gosh. I thought we had a decent amount of money, and clearly we don't. Ah, my mistake. Alright. And really, I don't have anything for any of you guys to be doing right now, then. But in 3 months, I'm going to have to go bid for as many slots as I can in Tokyo. Actually, I could try to start a flight from here to Cairo. Oh, that's going to cost too much money. Wow, I've really gotten not a lot accomplished in this video thus far. My apologies, folks. But yeah, the TU144 was sort of pushed into production to try and beat out the Concorde. Or to try and beat out Concorde. It's one of those things. Pretty much in every aspect of, you know, science and cultural and technological development, the Soviet Union was at, you know, in the middle of a race with the Western world, essentially. It wasn't just the space race, basically every other little bit and piece of technology, and this was going to be a big point of pride for the Soviets, to get to supersonic transport first and to do it better. And you can argue they got there first, but it's hard to argue they did it better. Basically, they had, Concorde had routes going across the Atlantic Ocean, just across to various different places. It had enough of a range that you could do things with it. There was only ever one route that that the TU144 ever got put on. It was a route between Moscow and the name is slipping my brain now. I think it's hold on, this is gonna bother me until I figure it out. Hold on. Almaty. That was it. I kept on wanting to say Alti because of Alti Al-Azhar, the the court magician. Wait, we still don't have our slots in New York or Los Angeles yet? That's BS, man. Alright, fine. Let's go to Southeast Asia. Let's get some of those 727s on this route. I'm gonna go ahead and use the maximum number of flights. It might not work. I'd almost guess it won't. Brace yourselves for the jet noise, folks. Sorry if that warning was a little late. But, okay, there's new slots available in Tokyo. Let's go ahead and try and get those. We can get 7 of those slots, apparently. Okay. But, yeah, that's the largest city in Kazakhstan. And at the time it was the capital of the Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic. So, yeah, between there and Moscow. So, entirely over Soviet airspace. So, if anything bad did happen, they would have an easier time sort of covering it up. Although, you know, maybe that's the cynic in me talking. Have enough money to open up any more routes, do I? Nope. That's too bad. I don't have a whole lot that I can be doing this quarter because I'm just waiting for my guys. I'm just waiting for airport slots in Los Angeles and slots in Tokyo. In the meantime, Dragon's just gonna keep pulling away. But, yes, the Paris Air Show crash. Yeah, one of the theories was that people realized that the industrial espionage was going on and tried to funnel flawed designs to the Soviet Union, if you can believe that. That's maybe one of the wilder theories out there. Another one was that, essentially, in trying to outdo the Concorde at the air show, because Concorde was also at the air show, the pilots were basically made to perform some unsafe maneuvers that resulted in a crash. The most commonly accepted theory as to the reason of the crash was that a French Mirage plane was flying next to it and taking pictures, and the Soviet pilots were not made aware of this, and were surprised. Basically, the visibility out of those planes is apparently very poor, and they didn't see it and were surprised by it, and tried to maneuver in a way to get out of the way of them, not knowing that they weren't quite in the way. And, yeah, crash happened. Let's see, in the world of aviation history, that was also the year of the Tenerife disaster, which was a collision between two 747s on an airport in the Canary Islands. One was landing and essentially landed half on top of another plane that was on the tarmac. Between the two planes, over 500 people were killed. It's actually the worst accident in civil aviation history. I suppose one could argue that the September 11th attacks were a worse incident in civil aviation, but you could also argue that it wasn't exactly an accident per se. The people that took over the plane and did what they intended to do, but anyhow. That's all kind of bum you out sort of stories about 1977. 1977 was actually a really good and interesting year in a lot of ways. It was the year that well, in the world of video games, it was the year that the Atari 2600 came out. So sort of the dawn of video games. Well, like home video games. Let's go ahead and put another couple of these on that bad boy. Set that. That should start getting us some more money coming in. How are the rest of these North American routes doing? Excuse me. Alright, who else is on this route? Oh, I see. The competition is down to 40%. You know what? I will get into a price war with you, because I have a more efficient plane. So I can run at lower costs and still make a profit. I will drive you out of business. Sucker! Yeah. Boy, I still don't have very many slots in Los Angeles. Yep, didn't mean to go there. But yeah, the Atari 2600 first came out, and considering they were still selling Atari 2600s, granted at a much reduced price, but they were selling them against, like, the NES and the Sega Master System in, you know, like the mid-80s. It had a longer run as a game console than pretty much any other that, you know, springs to mind. Pretty much all the other ones have had their whole lifespan be less than 10 years. I mean, from the late 80s to the early 90s is pretty much where you have most of the 8-bit era. 16-bit went from the, you know, early 90s to the, yeah, mid-90s, thereabouts. Maybe a little after if you count, like, the Genesis with, like, more things getting added onto it. I don't know why you want to add anything onto the Genesis. You can play Aerobiz Supersonic just the way that it came to begin with. I'm not really sure what else you want to do with the Genesis. Nothing, I say. Nothing. Oh yeah, let's go take a look at how that new route in to Beijing is working out. It's not all the way full, but it's not bad. I'm kind of surprised, actually, at how well that's going, considering Beijing's a communist country, Tokyo's not, and all those sorts of, you know, factors. So let me see how my route to Hong Kong, yeah, okay, my route to Hong Kong is all the way down. And even so, I'm not putting a dent into their, pardon me, not putting a dent into the dominance displayed by Dragon there. So, I'm gonna have to figure out something else to do about all that. I'm gonna have to start adding some more routes in Southeast Asia. Actually, why am I making this my next big project? It would be much cheaper to establish my dominance in Europe. I still have some routes there that, you know, aren't terrible. Let's get some routes going to, let's get a route going to Moscow. Let's see how that goes. They will offer us 11 slots. We'll go ahead and take those 11 slots. I don't see why not. what else can we do here? We could do Vienna, we could do Helsinki, or we could do Madrid. You know what? They've already got a flight going to Madrid. It seemed like that route to Helsinki was working surprisingly well last time. Let's go for it. I just like the idea. Okay, and we have enough money to open up a route to Cairo. Do we have any planes that'll do that route right now? We have a 727. Actually, how are any of these? London Athens is doing pretty well with 737s. London to Rome is doing okay with 737s. Not great, but okay. London Athens is, yeah, okay, they have a big sale going on. You know what though? I wonder if I could do well with those routes. I put in some Airbuses. You know me, I love Airbuses. It is a wide-body aircraft. Give me 2 of them. I will wait 3 months. That's okay. But yeah, so, you know, home console gaming was starting to blossom. Personal computers were starting to come out. The Commodore PET, or PET, was introduced. The Apple II. I believe Microsoft had already incorporated themselves the year before, roughly. So, yeah, like the basic foundations of what we consider everyday objects now in the realm of home computing were going on. Also, I believe this was right around the time that, you know, the various defense organizations that invented TCP/IP and that sort of thing were inventing the basic building blocks of the internet. Ooh-hoo-hoo. Go-ho. Got more money. I'm pretty sure it's from putting those 747s on those routes. So you can see, I have fewer cities on my network. I'm transporting slightly more passengers, but my profits are big, big, big. Those are the regional rankings for 1977 thus far. Alright, this is the last quarter of 1977. I gotta get going here. Although, geez, look at poor Aussie. Like, almost all their routes are losing money. Look at us. All of our routes are gaining money. We acquired some slots in Tokyo and got some Airbuses. Let's head on up to Europe. Let's see about this route to Athens. Let's look at the competition. Okay, they have far fewer flights, but you know that's okay for them. Not doing a 740. Let's put an Airbus on this route. Let's put an Airbus on this route and see how that changes it. Clearly, it'll be a difference. Could be a big difference. Also, let me see how far these routes are. If I got a route going from London to Helsinki, okay, I could make it. Not quite to Moscow, though. So I would need a 727 or something like that to go to Moscow. What about to Madrid? From London to Madrid. Oh yeah, I could make that flight easy. Matter of fact, why don't I start negotiations for that flight? I don't mind having smaller planes going to Madrid and Helsinki because, honestly, I don't think in the long run those are routes that are ever going to be able to fill up a huge plane. At least I've never been able to get them to do so in the past. I haven't done anything for this entire year. That's our villain dude. Who are you gonna send to bid for slots? Nobody. That's the way I work. Anyhow, let's go back to North America. I know, it's weird. I realize that my airline is supposedly based out of... Yeah, look at that. Just massive stacks of cash coming from those new flights. I get enough money to be able to buy myself a new 747 every quarter out of just those flights. So I'm pretty much going to keep putting those flights together until... Yeah, go ahead and buy one. I'm looking forward to seeing you too, honey. You seem like a good kid. Alright. I got enough money for another Airbus, don't I? Yeah. Let's get one. I like having extra ones of those on hand because they are good general purpose airplanes. They don't have the longest range in the world, but they have a long enough range for many of the things I would ordinarily think about using them for. As a matter of fact, would I be able to use those 3,600-ish miles to... Nope. Can't get to Chile with them. Definitely not going to be able to get to any place in Brazil. It's too bad. I pretty much need jumbo jets for those friggin' routes. I don't think I'll be able to fill up the jumbo jets with those friggin' routes. But, yeah. I'm pretty sure you've already gone after... We've already gone after as many slots as we'll be able to get in, Los Angeles, right? We already have the maximum number of slots. And in Tokyo. Those are the airports I'm the most worried about. Even though we clearly haven't expanded all the way in Tokyo yet. Our company already... apparently he just makes strange noises now. He's not even actually doing anything. Villainous, particularly. One bit of sad news out of 1977. Elvis Presley died. You know, provided you don't believe that he faked his death to go into hiding. But even if you did, he would have to be in, what, like his 70s now? 80s? Well, 70s anyway. He would be an old man, considering the kind of hard living that he'd done. He'd probably have died of natural causes, other than, you know, overdose on the toilet, or whatever it was that happened to the man. I guess cardiac arrest. But yeah, we would have died of something else by this point. Sad to say. You know, love the music, but not been to Graceland, oddly enough. Oh, I guess I've never been to Memphis. Airport expansion in Cairo is done. There are 26 more slots. So eventually, when we start using those slots... Yep, got even more interregional flights going. That's good. I'm becoming #1 in Europe. With the Airbus switch there, I think. That has enabled me to become #1 in Europe. Dig it. Yeah, dig it. And still #1 in North America, and still unopposed in South America. Those are really small numbers, though. I probably should just bump them up just for purposes of my dignity. Alright, I didn't have the #1 quarterly profit here, but I'm running neck and neck with Dragon now, and if I can run neck and neck with the computer, I feel like I can make more informed decisions or faster decisions about what to do and act on next. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, everybody. You guys are keeping your fingers crossed for me, aren't you? Please, say you are. So yes, this was the quarterly report for October 1977. These are the regional rankings for 1977. The whole year, folks. because this is the end of 1977, and thus it is the end of this episode of Let's Play Aerobiz Supersonic Scenario 2. So, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye now.